Well, howdy folks, welcome back to Ray County, and it is the middle of winter. As you can tell, we have been blanketed with snow. I was hoping that we were going to be able to sell some corn today, but with the road conditions, with the snow on the ground, it's probably not the most ideal time for us to be doing things, but we're just coming out, we're checking on the grain dryers. We've had those up and running for the corn. We managed to get some propane bought. That's just about $8,000 or something, so it wasn't too bad, and hopefully we'll get a bit of a benefit for that. But you can see there we're down to our last 20,000 or so litres of corn that we need to get dried. At least in this one, this has got, was the full bin, 243,000. If we're going to have a look at this bin over here, you can see that one there is already all done, 97,000 or so litres of corn in there, all dry and ready to go. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Sort of that's the offending cloud in that direction where the snow's come from. So hopefully it's disappearing and we might see a little bit of a nicer afternoon. Maybe see some of the snow disappear off the ground and we'll be able to get out and start hauling. Now, you'll also notice $84,000 in the bank account. Unfortunately, that's not a good thing. We did have to sell one of the fields down by the co-op, the larger of the two. The bank basically forced us to do that, or we weren't going to be able to make our repayments last month. So we do have enough money in the account at the moment to cover our repayments for the end of December going into January, so at least that's covered off, and then we'll have our crops to sell, which hopefully will cover the next couple of months. Wheat, even though it's got a bit of snow in it, it's looking pretty good. The other thing, we did manage to get all of the grass. I think last time we saw you, last video, we were planting grass, getting grass planted, so we have managed to get that all planted. That did come up before the weather got too cold. We've got 3 fields of grass. And this is obviously going to be a bit of a cover crop for us. Hopefully, we'll find someone who will buy it. Looking for a little bit of silage, or maybe to make some hay or something out of it before we need to plant our corn. But if we just come over, get up over the fence here, there you go, you can see. With snow as far as the eye can see, you can see our grass in here. So, yeah, pleased to get that all done, but it does mean we're going to have to try and find a way to sell it and hopefully get it taken off before we need to be planting our crops. Shed's all shut up, equipment is all in there, and basically we're now just at a waiting game, waiting for these roads to clear and make it a little bit safer for us to get out and get things sold. So we're just going to leave it there for that. Whether we get it done this month or not, we could be back in January before we're able to get it sold. So we'll just have to wait and see, mindful of the time, mindful of the weather, and wanting to do it as safe as we can. So, going to put the camera down, going to keep ourselves warm inside, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can. Well, believe it or not, it is Happy New Year. December, basically, we were snowed out. Got to Christmas time, basically just had to pull the pin on doing anything. And here I was hoping we were going to get some nicer weather in January, but the snow has just persisted. It has hung around and will not go away. So, unfortunately, we're at the point where we just cannot wait any longer. You can see our money's dropped down from 80,000 or 84,000 down to 15, so we've basically lost 70 grand. Unless we get something in the bank soon, we are going to be having to sell that other field. Still got the small one down by the co-op, but we're going to be having to sell that. We can't sort something out. So we're just going to have to travel carefully and make the most of the price we can get for our dried corn at the moment. It is basically at a premium. We'll take a look at that in just a second. I've got a spreadsheet and figured everything out, but we're just going to try get ourselves in a position where we can start getting these bins unloaded with a silo. Not the right setup, not quite how we should be doing it, but hopefully that is going to work. And there you go, you can see we can go through and find our dried corn. There is just a little bit still drying, it's not quite finished, but there you go, you can see our dried corn ready to go in that. So we should be able to get the truck underneath the auger and get started with some selling. So we're going to go get that warmed up. Should have actually started the engine on that because that has not been running for quite some time, and it might be a bit of a tough effort to get that going. So we'll let it warm up, get it started, and we'll go start running some dried corn down to the sell point. So we've got the truck up and going. It started reasonably well. Been running it for a wee while and getting it going, and as you can see, we are starting to get the trailer full. We've already put some corn in the front hopper, Just getting the second hopper there full up as well. This auger, like I said, is just oversized for us, but it's the best we could come up with, the best we could get at the time when we needed it. So whether we try and replace it at some stage, I don't know if it's going to ever happen. We'll just have to see how the finances go. That is going to be the deciding factor. But there we go, that must be at full. So we'll go and get this tarp closed up. Just have a look. Yep, no, everything looks good there. You should just jump up on the truck. And there you go. Nice and full, nice and even. That's going to cover up really well and get it shipped down to the co-op, down to the sell point. I think it's going on the train. It's off to an ethanol plant somewhere. That's what we've sold it for. But we're going to go and get the best dollar we can for it and go and see how much we make off each load. Don't even know how many loads there are going to be to take out of here. We will just have to wait and see. So we're going to take it as easy as we can on these roads, just with the snow. Hopefully the county's been through and ploughed the roads. I haven't actually been down here for a while, but I can see some traffic flowing along there reasonably well. So yeah, it does look like they're kind of clear. So it looks like they've been out and ploughed the roads, which is nice. So we really just have to worry about this deep stuff here on our driveway. We've got no way of getting rid of it, of course, either. We've got no plough or anything. So we're just going to have to make do with what we've got here. I'm guessing running the truck up and down it a few times will probably help. Now, we have to wait for this next car now, aren't we? Probably should. Only pulling out on anything unnecessarily. Now, of course, no need for a helper today. We've only got the one truck, so it is just us all on our own. And to be fair, I wouldn't want to invite anyone to come and give us a hand in these conditions anyhow. But of course, as soon as spring is here, we are going to be looking for some help. So always drop a comment down below if you're keen to come and lend a hand here on the farm. Food, board, accommodation, everything like that is covered. I just, as I've said before, really cannot afford to pay you anything. It is just coming here for the bit of a farming experience. So let me know if you're keen to help. Always looking for more hands to come and lend a hand. Anyhow, that's enough jibber jabbering. Let's get ourselves down to the co-op. Let's go and see what we're going to earn off each truckload. So here we are at the co-op. Now we're actually going to head to the right here and take ourselves over the scale first. We've got to go through, got to put the probe into the back of the trailer, test the corn, make sure it's all good, or at least record what quality is. We obviously want to make it sure it's the best quality possible. I'm sure we have grown and harvested the best possible corn, best quality corn we can. But let's get ourselves just driven here over the weighbridge. We should be able to stop just short here. And now the clever people in the shack there, they're going to get the probe and tell us everything's good to go. Perfect, there we are, all good to go. That was a perfect test weight. Everything like that was just where it needed to be able to basically make us the most we can. So let's go and have a look at what we're going to earn off this load. We head on up the top now, follow the road up to the pits next to the train tracks, into the silos. Of course they take it into there, and then when the train is here, I don't think it's here at the moment, no, it doesn't look like it, it's when they have a train in, they can take it straight out of the silos and load it into the train. So let's have a look, see what we can earn off a truckload of corn. So front hopper done, and that is pretty much $8,000 for that load. So we'll get the other one unloaded, but that's what, $16,000, and we had about 40,000 litres on. Now if I can recall correctly, we've got about 340,000 litres. So what's that, eight and a half loads? It's 8.5 loads, and we're getting 16,000 per load. What, 80, 120, $130,000? That's not bad. I will certainly happily claim that if that's what we're going to earn, because that is going to get us through another 2 months of repayments to the bank and to the finance lenders and everything like that. So let's carry on. We are just going to jump into this. We'll do a little bit of a time lapse here of us running back and forth between the farm, between the yard, get some loads of corn sold. Right, well I think, just going to go over and have a look at the auger. This should be the last few thousand litres out of this bin. Should get it all emptied in this load. Just come over and have a look here, see if this stops running. My calculation said that it should. There's 19,500 litres and we can get 20,000 plus in each hopper on the truck. So set counting down there, we're down to none. There we go, that stopped and that stopped. So perfect. Now we're going to double check the truck. See if it's worth moving this over now. I'm going to need to take 3 trips out of this anyhow, 97,000 litres. So definitely going to have to do 3 trips. Is it worth shuffling it over, or are we pretty close to full? Climb up the ladder here. Looks pretty close to full. We'll just do the old magic jump. Let's jump up and have a look. Yeah, 97% full. Not really worth moving the auger around just to get that last little bit. It's not going to save us a trip later on, so we shall get this one down and get it sold. So what are we up? What, 80,000 litres up? $80,000 up so far, which is good. I have been sort of pondering as we've been driving back and forth. I'm a little bit worried this is our main source of income along with the soybeans, and once this is gone, soybeans don't get sold until July, I think, is when we're contracted to sell those. It's when the best price we'll get for them is. So between now and July, the only other thing we might have to sell is some grass. So I'm not quite sure where we're going to drum up $60,000 a month from. Might have to see if we can reach out to some of the other neighbours and see if there's any work they need done, something we can go and help with. We've got the equipment, we've got the experience, we've got the knowledge. We'll have to wait and see if there's some things we can do to make a few extra dollars on the side, but of course priority is getting our farm sorted out and doing what we can to get the best yields. Whether that's soil testing, getting some fertilizer applied, all of these things cost money, so we're going to have to figure this all out. It's not going to be easy. It's definitely proving tougher than I thought it was going to when we first drove in this very road all those months ago. Anyhow, let's go and get this one sold. We'll keep on going, see how much we can make. We'll check in with you when we are back down. Should have probably waited for that car. When we're back down and get the auger moved. So time to get this auger moved. We've swung the truck around. I'm hoping what I can actually do is position this in a way we could probably bring the truck in and around where we've driven in now. I mean, it's only 3 loads, but 2 more once this one's done. But that might make it a bit easier to turn around. It was certainly, the position we had it in was not the most favourable spot to be able to access and get turned around. A lot of backing, a lot of reversing, a lot of having to negotiate the best way in. But I think, as you can see, we've already managed to turn around there. So I think if we get this into a spot kind of like that even, we should be able to, on the truck here, drive underneath the auger and go and unload. So we'll give that a whirl, see how that works out. So being able to turn around in there and we'll roll straight in underneath the auger. And we'll get into filling some dried corn. So 97,000 litres out of this. We basically what, take 80, what do we take? 40,700 is it each trip? Something like that. So 81,400 in the first 2, and we'll be left with probably 1 hopper maybe for the second trip. Maybe 1 and a bit. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, not too much more to go. We'll get these ones all loaded up, get down and get it sold. A little bit more. So yeah, 20,350. So 40,700 per load. I was right. Right, there we go. That's full. So tarp on and carry on going. Interesting how the snow's kind of been displaced as we've come in and out of the yard. Almost ploughed our own little path through here, which is kind of neat. Right. 2 and a bit more to go, and then we will be able to call it quits. So back at the yard once again. I thought I'd test out my auger setup with some first person driving. So let's just slowly go and turn around in here. Now honestly, the snow is pretty heavy. Found ourselves sort of understeering quite a few times, and we really don't want to. Not something you want to do in a big truck. And now can't actually see where the auger is. Where's the end of it? In the right spot? Hopefully we are. I think we're over far enough. Be able to have a look out in a second. Can't see behind us either. See the mirror? No. Nothing there. Right, let's jump out of there. Ah, look at that. Not far off. Here we go. We're filling. That's pretty much perfect, isn't it? Yeah, that was a much better way to set up that auger. We'll have to remember that for next time. Now, just while we're filling up, I know also last video just reminded me, seeing the withering here in the crops and the wheat, I asked the question about the realistic weather mod and whether we should keep it, get rid of it, or what we should do. Most people said get rid of it. There was a couple of comments though about maybe just turn the withering chance down. So I have left it in for now. I've bumped the withering down to 50%. What I don't actually mind, and I said that last time, is I don't mind it withered into a harvest state like it is there with the wheat. It's the withering with the corn which happened above ground, and you end up with these big plants which just didn't look quite right. So we'll soldier on with it. We'll give it another chance. I do like the whole idea with it. I like the way it affects the snow and rain and all those kind of things. So let's just see where we end up. Anyhow, this will be our last full load. We're at $127,000. We will get another, what are we getting per load? Another 16 or so thousand out of this one. Take us up to 130, 143. So I'm hoping by the time we've got that last load, we might be just nudging over $150,000. So that would be rather nice if we can achieve that. So we'll carry on. We'll go and get this one unloaded. We'll come back and grab the last little bit, and I'll probably catch up with you down at the co-op when we're unloading the last trailer load. So here we are, last load, only 16,000 litres, it's not even that full. You can see the trains come in, so they're obviously starting to load out as well. I must have been getting a bit full on silos. We did actually see a couple of trains in our travels. I don't know if you caught those when we were going over the bridge. There is a lot of trains rolled through here, taking corn, different grains through to different plants, different factories. It is a very, very busy area, but there we go. You actually can't quite make out any grain being loaded in, but you can see the parked there underneath that overhead bin and rolling underneath that, and that's where the corn that we've got goes down into the pit, across the leg, up the leg, into these side bins, and then obviously once they've got it through there, they'll pump it out of the side, the bins, back up into the leg and down to that overhead bin. So very clever setup. There we go, that is the very last of our corn emptied out. We started off with about 15 grand and we are up to 149,000. $150 short of $150,000. Would have been nice to tick over that mark, but we'll take it for what it is. What's that though? $135,000 we have made off all that corn, which is a nice little bit of income. I'm kind of happy with that, although it does make me a little bit sad that it's pretty much already all allocated in terms of heading off to the bank and to our other finance companies. So it's a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. What are we going to be doing in the next week? Well, there's not too much going on the farm. We've got a little bit of maintenance to be doing around, some equipment to sort out, just make sure everything is all ready. Obviously we are going to be planting some soybeans and some corn, so we need to make sure the plant is all sorted. Wait for that van. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, we need to make sure all that stuff's sorted out. We need to get in touch with the contractor to come in and we'll see if we can get rid of our grass, so we'll be working on that as well. Chat to an agronomist, see if we can get some more soil sampling done. Be all ready to start ripping into that grass once it's all been mown and taken away to be planting our crops. So lots still going on here on the farm, and as I said earlier, if you want to come and give us a hand to try and get some of these things done, that would be very much appreciated. Drop a comment down below. I would love to see you out here in Ray County helping us out. So I think that is going to be a great spot to wrap things up. We'll get back to the farm, get the truck put away, everything else tidied up there, and hopefully next time we see you it will be spring, and we will be looking forward to making some more money and making some more progress on returning this farm, or getting this farm to the point where it should be. Somewhere where it is making someone some money and not just passing it all back to a bank or a finance corporation. So there we go. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.